There's nothing more dreadful than simply hanging a painting.
Professor Coyote? Yes, Professor Coyote, what exactly do you mean by that?
What do I mean by that? That doesn't seem like a particularly generative question, does it? Let's back it up a bit. But look forward. Back. Many of you have seen the David, but a lot of you haven't actually looked at the David.
Oh, I've seen the David. I actually saw that when I studied abroad last.
Look, that's what I'm talking about. See, a lot of you aren't actually looking. A lot of you haven't seen the work. We're talking about something that's muscly, sigma, made of matter, big-brained, rhizomatic, dripping in riz. All I'm saying is you gotta actually look. Nothing more dreadful than simply hanging a painting. Some guy said that, but I can't remember who. I can remember what I saw today. And today, I saw many interesting things. Moments my boss described as visually rich experiences as if they were yet to be categorized phenomena. Maybe that's why some guy said, nothing more dreadful. Because it has the feeling that everything is embalmed.
Wait, did you just say your boss?
Listen, being an adjunct professor is not all it's cracked up to be, okay?
Boss? What is he saying?
Forgive me, I'm an adjunct.
We're not all it's cracked up to be, it's just what it is. That's kind of true of all art though, no? When you walk into a gallery, a museum, a project space, a whatever space, run by people who could be friends, citizens, enemies, detectives, dancers, poker players, assassins, writers of hot books, experience curators, marketers, hunters, spiritualists, geomancers, vampires, adulterers, mathematicians, wives, husbands, kids of wives and husbands, affecting every inch of the space, you get the feeling you should see butterflies pinned against the walls. Paintings are easily commodifiable. They're in fact the tokens of exchange, accruing interest, gaining value as an investment, which is then circulated through the art market system. Paintings are obvious conduits for the spectacle. It's not a mistake that figurative painting has accrued such big dividends for collectors, for museums, and for career-driven artists.
Aren't all artists career-driven?
Like you, for instance. Why are you teaching this art history 205 class?
Look, I don't know if any of you read my bio. I'm in fact a working class artist. My partner and I are both working class artists.
Like your partner?
Yes, we live together, we make art in separate studios.
So Coyote fucks?
Coyote
fucks!
Look, we make art in separate studios. Look, I have major gallery representation.
Isn't everything a commodity, yourself included? You sound like a champagne Marxist
Yeah, you
to
sound
me.
fake as fuck.
Look, I'm a conceptual artist, so I can't speak for everybody. I don't make pretty pictures. In fact, my work looks bad online.
Isn't that all you're showing us? It's just pretty pictures online?
Let's get back on track here. In fact, here's a dirty secret. That's also true of sculpture, of a whisper, of a gesture, of an immaterial entity, of an expensive signed-off thesis defense, of land art, of the foundation of a collector's lunch, of the plinths you gave a fine matte finish, of the sadistic intellectuals with treachery's promise, of delayed payments, of yet another mediation of an adaptation of the philosophical essay on the nature of possibility, on so on, and so on, and so on, and so on.
Kill your dreams of darkness now.
Endlessly vomited and pricked because we're doomed by the desire to look.
Smell of burning flesh in the air. Screaming child, must you stare? Crying slowly to the...
Some guy said he found plein air painting hilarious, which it is. But I thought about this a little bit more. Is it more or less hilarious than, say, your field recordings of the wind? Your carefully put together playlists meant to be shared in a romantic, ecstatic outburst of supreme love? Your effusive compliments that lose meaning the more and more they get passed around like the village bitch? Or doing karaoke? Look at this pretty picture. It's pretty funny if you think about it. Most objects with strong affects are in fact very funny. This is why people love drinking. Suddenly, in their drunkenness, all things become funny, and all entities achieve a perfectly hostile and therefore vital aura. It's grand. You might even say it's art.
Wait, what about museums?
What about museums, indeed? Museums are an important part of this infrastructure. They are maybe the ground, the bottom. In fact, there are 35 museums. There are 35,000 museums. Cut it out, go ahead. Museums are an important part of this infrastructure, fundamental basis of all of this. In fact, they are everything that we need to think about. I need you to back up. We talked about this. I need you to stop. Come on, man. Can we go to the museums slides? So less than 5% of the 35,000 museums in this country are art museums. And what is an art museum? What is a museum? Why do people go? What do they hold space for? What are they meant to do? A magician's cabinet of curiosities. The formaldehyde fetus. Lazarus and the Dead Sea Scrolls. Some rare first edition books from the Library of Alexandria. The last known recording of Charles Ives falling down the stairs. A fake mummy that demands your care and consideration. My old grandma used to say, when confronted with nude scenes in contemporary motion pictures, or steamy sex on all matter of medium, that it's all art. Would you say she's wrong? Do you know something she does not? You can't say she's wrong because she's right. It's all art, not because of criticality, but maybe in spite of it. And she was not even a postmodernist. Well, maybe. Aren't we all? Death to modernism. Long live modernism. Anyway, history is due for modernism 2 any day now, and 3, and 4, and 5, and 6, and 7. There's been a lot of lists in this lecture.
No shit.
Actually, having lists is a tradition. It's called the Epic Catalog. These seem to go on forever and ever. Sometimes I make my own lists when I walk through a museum. When I did exactly one internet search for the etymology of the word museum, I read that it is Latin from the Greek musion, which means seat of the muses. Depending on who you talk to and read, there are either 3 muses or 9. For the sake of lists, let's name 9. Urania, the goddess of astronomy. Calliope, the goddess of poetry. Polymnia, the goddess of sacred poetry or hymn. Clio, the goddess of history. Iturepe, the goddess of music. Terpisiore, the goddess of dance and song. Erato, the goddess of erotic poetry and mind. Melpomene, the goddess of tragedy. And Thalia, the goddess of comedy. All of which is to say, the museum is the seat of all of these muses. The place of study, of contemplation, the institution. We love pretty pictures. It's a curse. Imagine the first cave paintings. Imagine the horror unleashed on that day.
You sound like a typical iconoclast.
I'm sick and tired of your shit. None of you guys have any idea of my lore, my multitudes, my
You
vast
sound
array
good
of...
on arrival as you speak. Yeah, can you even draw?
That's... Why would I need to do that?
Have you ever looked at something and thought, I want to draw that?
That's not relevant. It's never been relevant.
Are you ever inspired? Have you ever invoked the muse?
You know, I'm something of a muse myself. Everyone gets an F.